guys, Sneaky Wheels here with lesson 2 on HTML and CSS. This lesson is going to be a quick refresh. You'll still be able to follow it if you're new to the series. The source I took from for the actual exercises and the structure of this lesson comes from codeacademy.com, and the course there is make a website. You can actually go to that if you want a more interactive version, but be wary, this interactive version will teach you the actual code, but not how you write it on Windows. But if you actually know that already, you can just do it there. So again, for a quick refresh, let's introduce the two languages we're going to learn again. HTML is building blocks of a website. We use it to add structures, links, text, and images. It's what you actually no, it's not what you actually see because you see CSS as well. Okay, never mind. CSS is going to be used to control the design and the layout, so that's actually everything you do after adding the actual content. Then the elements, we're going to use elements or tags, whatever you want to call them. They describe each piece of content so the browser knows what to do with it. We have the heading, which we went over already. There's 6 levels, counting up from big to small font. H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest. Then headings, paragraphs. Headings are usually followed by a paragraph. For an example, the paragraph rent from people in 34 blah blah. So the new stuff we're going to learn is links. Links are created by using an A element or A tag. It is similar to H1. It is similar to H1 or P elements, but with 2 key differences. It consists of an href attribute, which equals to the web page you are going to link to, or basically the URL for short. You get to choose the link text that users see on the page, and I've put an example here by opening the A tag followed by space href and then equal open colon, so open colon, and then you type URL, in this case https www.airbnb.com/locations. And then after that you close that and you type the actual text, so that's the second part of the code, which is learn more, and then you close the A tag, so the link is done. So that's for links. Next is what will the user actually see? It's a link that will link to the URL. So this is the URL with learn more as the actual text. Then images. Inserting images. Use the img element or image element. I've put an example. So you open the image tag space source, similar to links in that way. So src is so equal open colon, and then you type the address which you want the image to be loaded from. It can be a file or a web link. So this src stands for source and indicates where the image can be loaded from. This can be a link to a file on the server on the server hosting your website, but also an image link found on the web. Then next are lists. We covered them briefly in the previous episode, but I'll go over them. In addition to paragraph and images, content can be represented as links. The name of the list is described in a UL element, and each item in the list is placed inside an li element. So for an example, you type UL, then you get li with home and li and about, and you close the UL. And you can name the list by typing something between the UL tags, like so, UL, my favorite league champions, and then close the UL. Then next is HTML and body. That's pretty important. Didn't really cover that well, or well enough. So the example of a real web page structure is you open Doctype HTML. Um, then you go for HTML and body, and inside the body you type the code you're learning, such as headers, paragraphs, images, links, whatever. Then you close the body when you're done, and you close the HTML, which indicates to the browser, hey, you could stop loading from here. There's no more code for you. The doc type at the starting with HTML file tells the browser which version of HTML you're using, so it can be HTML, HTML5, whatever. I think this is HTML5 that we're doing. I was actually never sure because I learned this through Code Academy myself, but it was never really clear if it was HTML5 or HTML. But I've been looking it up, and the difference between HTML and HTML5 and HTML isn't really that big. Most of the code is the same. I think it's just little details. But I think it'll be fine. I mean, if you know HTML already, it's gonna be easy to transition to HTML5. But I suppose it's HTML5 already, actually. And then the doc type is not an HTML, so it does not have a closing tag. Uh, and then the doc type ensures that your web page displays consistently when it's from different browsers. So basically, it'll mean if I visit the page on Chrome, it'll look the exact same when I visit it on Internet Explorer or Edge. Alright, so that's the end of the theory part. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna create the Airbnb homepage from scratch. If you want to take a little view, go to airbnb.com. So we're gonna create a new HTML file in Notepad++. I already did that. I already pre-typed some of the code we're going to type or we're going to use. So we're going to start it by adding the necessary elements, which are these: doctype HTML body, and then when we're done, we have to add closing body tag and closing HTML tag. But we'll do that when we finish up. Okay. So we're gonna create a nifty navigation bar. Think about it as a menu with links to access the different pages of your website. I want to stress out the difference here. A web page is one part of a website. So if you want to make a real website, you're gonna have to write multiple HTML files and link them all together. But we're gonna come to that later on. So the main message is one web page. It's pretty light, can be done by one person. But a whole website, it takes a few weeks. My recommendation is if you really want to freshen up your coding and keep it fresh, because this is something, coding is something you have to, I don't know, it's like math class. If you're bad at math, I know I didn't do it myself back in the day, but if you want to keep up your math when you're bad at it, you just have to, I don't know, practice and try to do it. Like for coding, I recommend 30 minutes every day. Go to codeacademy.com, pick a course you like, and try to work on it at least 30 minutes a day. That's what I did. When I'm salty from League, I just open up codeacademy.com. I start coding, furious typing, and then it's all good. Also, since I started to code, my school results went up a little bit. They were always pretty good in general, but it helps me think more and keeps my mind sharp. Alright, so that was a little off, I know, but so let's get to this. Yeah, we're going to create a minimal navigation bar. You're gonna start by making a list. So open the UL tags like so. And then we have the two li tags, which are Neil and Browse. You can use your own name if you want. Then close the ul tag, open a new one. So ul, li, sign up, log in, and help. Those are your three items. And from now, I'm going to follow with you guys. So we're going to close the ul. There we go. All right. So next, we're going to wrap in order to stay organized, we're going to wrap everything in a div element. A div element is groups elements together into sections, such as navigation bar, the main header, or footer. Why do we do this? If we're going to get to CSS later, it's going to be easier because we're going to give those div elements, so the div groups, we can give them classes. And then later on in CSS, when you want to change a font color for all headers, for example, all headers with the class red, then it's going to be much easier. If you didn't have those div groups, then it would be hard, since you would have to pin down in like tons of lines of code those little things you want to change. If you work with classes, you can just say, hey, put class red to a red color, and everything you've assigned the class red to will turn red. That's it. I know it's hard to visualize and understand, but that's another note. From this lesson onwards, I'm always gonna write these text files, and I try to do it in a school book form, and I'll put them on Mediafire, and put a download link in the description so you can follow along more easily. You don't even have to watch the video with this, but the video gives it like a little bit of extra information, of course. But yeah, if you're not comfortable, if it's going a little bit too fast, you can just read all over the theory yourself at your own tempo and pace. So next, we've done that. We're gonna wrap it with two div elements. We're gonna start by opening a div tag. Div. Oh, wait. I think I'm doing it wrong. Yeah. We're gonna wrap it. I'm gonna have to do it like this. So beneath your body tag, open the div. I give it class equals. We're gonna call it between colons, of course. Nav. There we go. Class nav. Close it. And then we're gonna do another one, which div class container. Oh, be careful not to use accidental spacing. Container. Alright, close it. So we've done that. So now there are two divs. And after the UL, after your last code, just type /div and /div to close it. And now we're going to add some new content. So now that's done. After your last closing div tags, which is here, so just beneath that, we're gonna add an h1 element, which says find a place to stay. To stay. Place doesn't have to be P, what am I doing? Alright, so close that. H1. There we go. So that's the main header. Then after that, type a P, a paragraph, and that will say rents from people in over 34,000 cities and 192 countries. Close it. Oh, you don't have that. You don't need those. And to finish it up, we're gonna wrap those into 2 divs as well. I'm gonna put some extra spacing just to make it clear. So we're gonna make it div tag. We're gonna give it class. This is gonna be a little weird, but you'll see why later. It's important to name it like that later in the course. Jumbotron, run like that, and close it. And then another div class equals to container. Alright, so that's done. Then we've written 2 divs, so we're gonna have to type 2 closing div tags. Alright, so that's it. Congratulations on making it this far already. Any questions? You can reach out to me on Twitter at SneakyWheels with 1Z. Still important detail. Damn you, Twitter, with your character limit. Or facebook.com/SneakyWheels. Also, this is on YouTube, so there's a comment section. Yeah, shoot any questions there as well. Favorite, like it. Leave me any feedback, like if you think I'm talking too fast, if the volume is too loud, I don't know. If you would like some music in the background, I don't know. Anything you think about that could improve this series, just tell me about it, because like I already said in the previous episode, this is just a little experiment for me. I don't think I'm that good at teaching, personally. Only thing is, okay, this is gonna be a little feel part. Me, myself, I've always dreamed about a job in computing, in ICT. Thing is, my little brain here is most of the time too dumb to do math. And in Belgium, most of the IT shit requires high math skills in school. So guess what? I wasn't allowed to, oh, we forgot a P element here. Shit. My bad. I wasn't allowed to start in IT class. Like, I could, but out most of the time, just maybe get high grades in the actual coding, but the math stuff would be sucky. And from experience, I've learned that there are tons of people like me that want to do something in computing, but just don't have the math skills, basically. And I can tell you, from what I've learned in coding so far, I have rarely needed math. And if you need math and you can't do it, there are always calculators, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on, if you really think coding is fun, and if that is what you want to do for the rest of your life, then please allow people to learn it in school. Because I've been learning all this on my own. Codecademy gave me a big start, and I must fucking say thank you to the creators of this website, because without it, I would have never learned to code. And actually, there was a point before I found that website that I wanted to quit life, basically, because I was like, I'm gonna for I'm gonna be forced to do an office job, and I don't want to do an office job. I want to create something. I want to create something with computers. I want to make apps. I want to help people bring information to easier levels for all kinds of people, like develop systems for disabled people in IT, help them access information more easily. Like, look at what Facebook is doing right now with internet.org. They're giving internet access all over the world, even in the most rural areas. And that's what I want to do my part in. I know one person cannot really do big things, but with the right passion and with the right mindset, I think coding can bring me a lot and can mean a lot to other people as well. And that's why I started this series, to motivate other people to start and learning to code, um, and to tell the guys that already are interested in coding, never fucking give up. There are always ways to learn code. Never let anyone tell you you're too fucking dumb to do this shit, because you're not. Anyone can learn to code, but it just depends on how you teach it. If you teach it with lots of theory and lots of numbers, it's gonna be fucking hard. Just make it practical. Tell them what to type and what it means in a simple and easy to understand way. Keep it short, keep it nice. And that's why I'm wrapping up here, because I could continue, but then it's gonna be too much to take in. And that's why I've written everything in a text file, so you could just follow along at your own tempo, because those are the target audiences for this series. People who want to learn the code, but just can't do it in school for whatever reason. And with the little feel rant being over, I thank you for listening to my lesson, viewing my YouTube video. If you want to talk uh, if you want to talk about anything that has to do with coding, just shoot me at Twitter or Facebook, and I'll see you guys later.